Have you checked the children?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
And you got Jaime and Fuego here.
And we are, for now, completing our coverage of the Umbrella Academy comic books because if I have done my job correctly, this Friday you're going to see the second season drop on Netflix. So we are concluding all of the comics that are available up to this point. Now, again, don't feel like this might be spoilers because, frankly, we have no idea what the second season is going to be about.
July
and
31st.
Volume 2, most of Volume 2 is likely not going to be in the show, so we don't know anything about Volume 3, and we're not going to touch on the spoilers of the story anyway, just the overall aspects of it. But that is for Umbrella Academy Volume 3, Hotel Oblivion. And so my overall thoughts on this one are, I liked it better than 2, not as good as 1. But I think this is a testament as to why I don't think it's going to be very spoilery if you guys were to even read this before you watch the second season, because Gerard writes for these books like a very superhero kind of way. There's a lot of big budget stuff that would have to be done in order to actually translate what happens in this book.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they're going to do that. I think they're going to maybe take their own route and just pick and choose pieces of this, like they did picked and choose pieces of Volume 2, namely Hazel and Cha-Cha. But yeah, my overall thoughts were it was enjoyable. I like that it's still big and bombastic like Gerard likes to do, but yeah, I don't think it was quite as strong as the first volume.
Yeah, well, the first one for me, the reason I enjoyed it so much was because, I mean, I like a good origin story and it laid the groundwork very well. The second one fleshed stuff out a little bit more, but this at least I enjoyed better than 2 because of the fact that it felt more superhero-y, I guess, you know, especially with the reemergence of a villain that we meet like in the first issue or 2 of the original series, and also the son of said villain, and I mean it does get it gets pretty out there, especially with some of the stuff in space that goes down, and you know, I mean I guess the work on Doom Patrol from Gerard probably inspired this to a significant degree, because I think he's still writing that book if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, we get very super villainy without spoiling stuff excessively. We almost get like just a huge battalion of villains at one particular point. So I don't know, and the artwork is just super dope in these. I especially dig it.
Yeah, it's once again done by Gabriel Baz, and just to give proper credit where credit's due. So yeah, Gerard Way wrote it. Gabriel Baz did the artwork, and trying to see, okay, so stories, yeah, and then letters by Nate Plakos. Jeez, half of this is in another language, so, because they did it like a menu, like a French restaurant menu, so I can't even read what half the credits are.
Yeah.
But
well, it is not without style. That is the one thing that I definitely will give Umbrella Academy a ton of credit for, is it's very distinctive, and it's bombast and just over the top nature and stuff. So story-wise,
Fuego, you want to kind of give the overall on this one?
I'll give it as best I can, because it's very dense and we don't want to spoil things specifically. But
it's pretty segmented.
But you still have Viola, right? Is that her name?
No, it's Vanya.
Vanya, okay.
Vanya, yeah.
Okay.
Vanya is recovering still from what happened to her in Volume 1.
And we actually get more about that in this, which is cool. And but I mean, we end up following for a significant portion of time that villain from the Eiffel Tower incident.
The murder magician.
Yeah, exactly. So we have stuff with him, and he has this baby he's trying to protect, and he
is a resident at the Hotel Oblivion,
which is,
and trying to escape.
Yeah.
Which is basically
it's a prison
that Hargreaves has created. Hargreaves, the old man from the first volume that did not make it, that was originally the caretaker of all the kids. Yeah. And then we see that Klaus
is back to his old ways.
But he's actually being used by a bunch of bikers to help give people closure, and then they pay the bikers for it and just give Klaus drugs. Yeah. And so he's just a mess once again. Yeah. But there's still some really interesting beats, right, where he's being used by a woman to get closure with her dead husband. carnally.
Yeah.
But
and then I'm trying to remember, and then there's the space exploration aspect that's going on, and
Right.
is it the afterverse or the after space or something? I'm trying to
I
remember.
can't
what the
remember what they
terminology
called
was.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's a whole like Star Trek ship kind of thing that comes into play, and
Yeah.
they all take around and stuff like that.
well, and then we
Show
also
it
have
right
the
here.
son of that supervillain who is is he the one who's trying to break the, without getting too spoiler, he's the one who's actually trying to find where his father was housed,
Yes.
and there was that other robotic head that was
Yep.
in there with him.
Yep,
and,
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, this is very dense stuff. You've got like
It is.
multiple stories that are all going on at the same time, and eventually our heroes do reconverge and reassemble. And one of the biggest spoilery things is what happens at the very end that we can't mention, but
Yeah,
it deals
a
with
new
alternate timelines and
group
different
kinda
dimensions
shows up, yeah.
and stuff like that. So yeah, I found that especially fascinating since, I mean, that sort of alternate timeline stuff is all the rage and not just comic books.
Well,
but,
and they
I mean,
already
it's
touched
been-
on it even in the first season of the show.
Yeah.
And we don't know where they all disappeared to. Who knows? Maybe they went to a different dimension.
That's
and
right.
Maybe that's where they'll actually meet all of these things that happen at the end of this book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm still wanting to, re-binge the original season, but I mean, with so
I
much
think I'm
else
only
to-
going to have time to watch the
to
last
watch a
episode.
couple.
That's what
Yeah.
I'll do. Yeah. But yeah, and then of course you've got number 5, who ends up working with the Rumor for a while because the Rumor was taking care of Vanya and helping with her rehabilitation, but then
Vanya
their mom takes over.
goes off with the mom, and then
Right.
she ends up in this weird snowy area near the end to gain some sort of perspective and additional closure and rehabilitation and whatnot. So
And then Spaceman and Kraken, or Space Boy and Kraken, they're kind of doing their own thing as well. Like everyone's pretty
they have
off
their
on
own
their own in
separate
this.
adventure in this, and as I said, by the time we get to like issue 6 and 7, that's when the reassembling and where just the outpouring of supervillains transpires and stuff. But yeah, as far as dense storytelling, Gerard does not shy away from that sort of thing here at all. So
No, and you say dense, and I think some people might get the wrong impression and say it's like really dense word-wise, but
No,
it's
it's
not.
just-
It's just
yeah.
dense story-wise.
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of plates up in the air sort of thing going on, you know.
It's also the first volume of the book that went to 7 issues instead of
opposed to
6.
Yeah.
So I guess they just had that much more story to tell. So there's that cover of Vanya and her mom. Her mom's basically just talking to Vanya and giving her a new perspective on everything, and
Which
it's
is
really
good.
interesting.
Yeah, because she got so little time in the second volume because, she had gone supervillain status, based on that weird cult at the end of the first volume, and that is something that we did see in the original television series, season 1 of the Netflix show. So
Yeah, there's just some. I'm just kind of picking crazy pages that won't spoil much for you guys.
the
but
stuff in space was really pretty, I gotta say.
Yeah.
That was very dope.
See, I thought this was a great spread right here.
Yeah.
It's really interesting storytelling, and Gabriel Baz artwork is very unique in my opinion. I don't think there's too many people that do artwork like him. I mean, look at the angles on Vanya's face and Mom's face and everything. It's just you don't see style like this.
Truly.
And even in comics, it's all a lot more polished, and everyone looks like they almost are photorealistic a lot of times. So it's really great to see stuff like this.
That was a panel that I especially enjoyed, the weird floating robo head.
Oh, yeah.
The one that's in there with, what's his name's father.
Yeah.
Yeah, the young aspiring supervillain dude who we saw for maybe like one scene in the second volume of the show, Dallas. So
Yeah.
or the comic, I should specify.
So, I mean, and we're going to get into the final 3 issues. I don't know how much more of it I want to show you guys. And
They most definitely leave it wide open for a 4th volume with what transpires at the end without spoiling it, and I would love to see where he would go with it, and
show you the covers at least.
especially if the second season of the show is as successful as the first. I don't see why the hell they wouldn't capitalize on that sort of attention and have a 4th volume like prepped.
oh
and
no, they're
ready to
already
go.
planning on it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're planning
I
on
definitely
it.
figured that. and they have some
then,
spin-off stuff. They
Yeah,
talked
exactly.
About too, right?
More of the Umbrella
from
Academy
the
presents,
Unburned,
like
yeah.
the Hazel and Cha Cha issue was.
Yeah.
It's a really cool cover, actually.
Well, Gerard was supposed to be on tour with MCR, and that whole thing got rescheduled to next year. So I'm sure he's had the time to
write more,
and,
yeah.
write and work and do all that stuff. So yeah.
So yeah, guys. I mean, any other critiques on it? We talked about the art. We talked about the story. The writing, like we said, is dense, but not like so much of it. It's just you have to pay attention.
You definitely do. And there's, I mean, fantastic dialogue. That's something that Gerard has always, I mean, it's been, even with his Danger Days comic book, which was the spin-off of the MCR record at the time. I mean, everything that I've read of his, I haven't done any of the Doom Patrol, but I mean, he definitely has a good knack for, you know, sarcastic, natural sort of discussion amongst, you know, I don't know, siblings, obviously, that love each other, but they still take their shots where they can. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff.
It is. So, there you go, guys. I'm sure that this is in a trade paperback form at this point, because this
I
finished
ordered it
last
and remember
year.
it was damaged and I had to send it back.
That's
so
right.
Aggravating.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can get your hands on this without going for the actual issues. And, again, it's just 3 volumes right now. So it's easy to catch up on, and it's very worth your time, especially if you're enjoying the show and you haven't read any of the comics.
Yeah, deep, rich mythology, lots to soak up, so that's cool.
Indeed. So that's going to do it for our review of Volume 3 of Umbrella Academy, the Hotel Oblivion.
Wow.
Let us know in the comments down below, does it interest you? Are you going to seek out these comics at all? Or are you just going to stick with the show? Let us know why in those comments. And while you're down there, if you enjoyed the video, click the like button and subscribe. Thank you to all of our patrons, which the link for that is in the description box as well. You can actually become a patron and tell us movies to review on a monthly basis and stuff like that. So,
Porfa.
thank you guys very much. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, Jaime Fuego.
And remember, stay scared.